Heading into the 2024 season, it really feels like the Cubs are going to be the team to beat in the Central. The Brewers losing their manager up to the Cubs, and some of their players, free agents. What are they going to do? You got the Reds, good and bad last year, kind of off and on. The Cardinals were so bad last year. I'm sure they're going to be better. The Pirates are the Pirates. And it really feels like the Central is going to be the Cubs division. We're going to talk about that right here on the Cubs Baseball channel. But before we do, welcome to the channel. Like and subscribe. Be a part of what we're doing here. And let's talk some Cubs baseball. With Chad Anderson, I'm Mick Gillispie, and we talk about the Cubs. Maybe we're being a little presumptuous, Chad, but we're thinking that the Cubs are going to be the team to beat. Is that the wrong mentality?
Shit, no, Mick. This is it, man. Like the Cubs, dude. The Cubs were within a few games of the division last year. In what was it, middle of August or so?
Mm-hmm.
Cubs had closed the gap on Milwaukee. There was one point last season where the Cubs were playing so good in the second half, and then Milwaukee was like the only team that was either a similar record or barely better, barely worse. And I think the Dodgers too. Dodgers had a great second half, but man, if you look,
it's like the Braves and then the Cubs. They had like by far the two best records there. After the Cubs went on that 8-game winning streak and like saved themselves from all the trades, right?
Correct. Yeah. Bellinger just went off.
Yeah, Bellinger.
Super hot, just went nuts. But when you look at the NL Central, the only thing that keeps the NL Central from being the worst division in baseball is the AL Central. And so with the Cubs and what the Cubs
White Sox
did,
and them.
Yeah, the Indians or the Guardians. I always say the Indians, the Guardians, the Twins, the White Sox, the Tigers, and the Royals. I mean, what an awful division that is. And but you look at the NL Central, and the Cardinals have been bad. They're really in a tough spot. The Pirates are the Pirates, like you said. The Reds are the Reds. The Reds and the Pirates both. They had like flashes this year. Pirates early, Reds kind of middle of the season, a little bit late in the season. They were kind of in the shadows, lurking for that last wild card spot down the stretch. But it was Brewers Cubs, and now with Milwaukee, they're going backwards. They just lost their manager. They're still small market. They don't spend a lot of money. Some of their players and whatnot, like who's going to be on the roster next year. I just look at this and it's like, man, the Cubs with hiring Craig Counsell, with, in our opinion, and we've talked about this, the overachievement that they had this year based on our expectations, and then what they're going to do in free agency and trades and the way the farm system is built up and the prospects and the money, like this is it. And I really think this goes back into some of our other shows where Jed Hoyer saw this window and said, wow, our farm system's loaded. I've got the green light to spend money, and Craig Counsell's available. This is our window. This is when we attack, and the rest of the division is not looking very good and not set up very well. The Cubs are legitimately positioned to do what Milwaukee has done over the last 6 years, and that's win the division 5 times.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I think that the expectation in the clubhouse is going to be they're winners. They've got the right manager. Who knows what the roster is going to look like? And they've got some holes right now. I mean, you've got to replace Cody Bellinger. That he was the center point of the team's success. So if it's Ohtani, who's not a Scott Boras client, or if it's Bellinger, or if it's Pete Alonso or Juan Soto, I just think that you have to find that guy in the middle of the lineup that is your go-to guy. Because I don't know that guy's there right now with Bellinger as a free agent. But with that said, you win with pitching and defense. And I wonder what they're going to do in those areas, because if you sign Ohtani, you're not going to have him as a pitcher this year. So you're going to have to figure it out without him. So it's interesting, but I do feel like this would be the time to invest and take this division.
Isn't it crazy how Cody Bellinger single-handedly carried the Cubs into the position that they had? Now, I'm not saying other guys didn't have a role. Like, I mean, obviously, you got 3 Gold Glovers on the team. There was some phenomenal pitching that kind of came out of nowhere. Justin Steele was a Cy Young candidate. Assad pitched so well as coming in to help balance out the rotation with Stroman being on the IL. There was just a lot of guys who stepped up. Suzuki played amazing in the final 60 days of the year.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it was all triggered by Cody Bellinger transforming himself into, what was it, the 2019 Bellinger? That just went ballistic. And congrats to him on everything he accomplished with the Silver Slugger and the Comeback Player of the Year and everything that he was able to pick up in the hardware department. But when you look at it, Mick, the team's going to be more complete. I have a lot of faith in what Tom Ricketts and Jed Hoyer have set themselves up to do and position themselves for, and the green lights and everything. And with that and where the other teams in the division currently are, and I don't see them making any moves that are going to change their trajectory.
Right.
This is set for the Cubs, man.
Yep. Well, let's hope so. What do you guys think? Make sure that you comment. Tell us what you think. Are the Cubs set up to win, or are we, we misreading things right now? And thank you for hanging out with us here on the Cubs Baseball channel. If you're not already part of the channel, make sure that you like and subscribe. If you enjoy Cubs content, give us the thumbs up, share with your friends, hit the bell so you know when we're live. And don't forget that we're presented right now by the Tennessee Smokies. The Smokies are the Cubs AA affiliate. They won their first championship in 45 years, and they've got an amazing array of championship swag. So the Cubs didn't make the playoffs, but the Smokies won it all, and those guys are on the way. Get on the bandwagon early. Thanks for hanging out with us, guys, and we'll talk to you soon.